What's going on, guys? It's me, Sodium Overdose, or Nate. Um, this is my second time recording this video, but no need to worry about that. I'm not worried about it. I'm probably gonna be doing more of this sort of setup. I kind of like this setup. It works really well for me. But what's poppin'? With me. I just got done watching the Super Smash Bros. Melee documentary, Metagame. Phenomenal piece of work. It was a phenomenal documentary directed by SAMOX. Really awesome producer from Eastpoint Pictures. It was so good. This documentary has been 5 years in the making, and goddamn, it couldn't have come at a better time. 2020, with 18 days left of this year as of this recording, and I'm just happy. I'm just super excited about this. It's incredible. Now, honestly, looking at this documentary for what it is, there were some moments, it was a true sequel to what I had watched so many years ago. Not so many years ago. It feels like so many years ago, but it wasn't. When I watched the first one in 2013, I kind of was like, wow, this is incredible. I never knew Melee had such a big following. I mean, I knew Melee was competitive. I knew people played it like that, but I never was versed in the history or the mechanics of the game. I was always somebody that was lagging behind because I played the game for so long as a child, and I really I never understood it. I knew about L canceling for the longest time, but I never knew how vital it was for competitive play. But it's incredible to watch this documentary and be at the point where, you yourself as a person were witnessing history in the making. I was watching half of the events that were going on in the documentary. There were some, like, from the events of 2013 up to 26 up to like now. The documentary didn't go up to now, but it did go from 2013 all the way to 2015, which is kind of where my introduction my introduction is the community. But I was it's not really half, it's more of like a third of Melee history from the documentary that had come out. I wasn't playing the game in 2008. I wasn't playing the game in 2009 or 2010 or 2011 or 2012. I learned about the community in 2013, and I finally started playing the game in 2014. And it's just incredible. It's such an awesome ride to look at the people that were so influential in shaping the community for what it was. Because you had 5 gods, you had 1 god slayer, and I remember Leffen coming around and just destroying these 5 players. It was incredible. It was just insane. I got to see Leffen. I got to see Leffen beat everybody after Hungrybox. I did not see Leffen beat Hungrybox the first time around. I saw Leffen beat Hungrybox the second time at Big House 4. I wasn't at the tournament. I watched the stream, but I remember those moments. It's just an incredible situation to look back at, and this history. Chillin's diss track back in 2015 for Leffen, and then Leffen just sweeping the floor with Chillin dude. It's incredible. It's a really nice stroll down memory lane, and I always love that. But most importantly, I learned a lot from the top players from their interviews, because their interviews really brought out their personality a lot more. You watch them stream, and you get to know them, like, personally, like you get to know them in person. You get to know them, like, their fun side, their giggly side, their have fun side. But this documentary really does go into what each player was struggling with at the time. And I see a lot of myself in one of these players, particularly PPMD, who he's probably the most reflective of me. He's somebody that really struggles to have self-confidence. And, and that's something a lot of people have to deal with. A lot of people have to deal with self-confidence issues. And I really think PPMD is the star of the documentary. He kind of was the one that I connected with the most. And I think the producer and the everybody who worked on it made sure that PPMD got the spotlight. And that's just me. I think this is PPMD's story. This is completely his story. His interactions with Mango, his interactions with Armada. You can really talk about Armada. They really did talk about Armada and Mango in this documentary. But from history, the Smash Brothers history, those three in particular, Mango, PPMD, and Armada, were undisputed. They were the undisputed greatest players of all time. And then, you had Mewtwo King and HBox. Both of those players were kind of sidelined in this story. And I can understand. I mean, Mewtwo King had his own segment in the first documentary. So he was shown as that one player that Leffen, the God Slayer, the villain, had the most problems with. Mewtwo King just was that one mental mind block that Leffen had for so long and still has to this day. But this documentary really centers around the three major gods. The Armada, Mango, PPMD. And how those three in particular kind of were trying to one up each other every time. And that's really all I can really say about it. I've only watched it one go around. Like I've only watched the documentary once. So it's, from what I can remember from the first watch, it's really about those three. And PPMD was the one player that I connected with the most at my current moment, what I'm like now as a person. And then Armada is the one person I really couldn't really connect with, but I understood his determination to be the best thing ever. And then Mango is the guy that, I wish I could be. I wish I could party all day and, do all these things and have a no fucks given attitude, while at the same time be the happiest person alive. People wish they can be that guy. But I think PPMD is shown as the everyman in this story. Armada is shown as the impossible odds, the person that, everybody strives to be. And then Mango's that one distraction, like, you want to be this guy, but no, you want to be this guy. It's really about this whole idea of, oh, I want to be this guy, or I want to be this person. I want to be this person, when it's not about that at all. It's about being yourself. That is the lesson to be learned from this documentary. You got to be yourself. And it's a really good lesson that I've been taught all my life, that I always ignored, because who wants to be themselves? Only somebody that was less confident and arrogant and a fool would believe that. And that's the reality of it. I got to wrap this up. I'm going to talk about this documentary another time when I watch it again, kind of do an in-depth review of it, try and do an in-depth review of it. But honestly, it's a very interesting concept to look back at all this history and be like, wow, that was incredible. Or wow, he really pulled that. He really pulled that out of his ass and went with it. It's a story about comebacks. It's a story about overcoming your weaknesses. It's a story about determination. It's a story about people. It's the story about how people overcome great challenges. And there is a lot to be learned from it. And that's really all I got to say. It's incredible. The one thing that 2021 will have in store for us is plenty of more challenges. Not as many challenges as 2020, but enough challenges for people that have learned their lessons from 2020, from this whole lockdown. Perhaps people who were more extroverted will now learn that, hey, maybe hanging around people isn't really what I want to do all the time. Or the people that were inside all time, all day, all night, thinking about themselves and how they weren't really good enough, will finally learn that, hey, maybe I just need to go out there and actually work on myself and make myself more of a person and make myself, great, so people can appreciate me for who I am. I know I'm going to be trying to do that as best as I can. And playing some more Super Smash Bros. Melee on Slippy. Yeah. But anyways, I'm going to get out of here. I got to take out the trash. I got to feed the cat. And I got to sleep. So. Anyways, guys. Good night, y'all.